Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today we have Light Bulb and we're testing out the newly reworked Heimerdinger, who unquestionably has been nerfed this past patch. We're running him in a Lux deck with a ton of Mageseekers. Now, what we're doing in this Heimerdinger deck is because his 3-cost turret is now fearsome, we're running 6 mana cards instead to run the elusive units and get a win that way. So the reason why he works well with Lux, in case you don't know, to level up Lux you need to cast a 6+ mana spell while she's on the board, which levels her up, and then if Heimerdinger's down, it's also going to produce one of those elusive turrets. It still is vulnerable pretty much to any spell possible because it only has 1 health, but we're able to create quite a bit of pressure for the enemy and cause them to make moves that they might not necessarily want to get rid of those turrets. They cost 0 mana to summon after you have used the spell, so they're pretty efficient in that regard as well. You get kind of, it's not necessarily free units because you're still spending the mana, but you're able to get units down that do force the enemy to do things. Now in this deck, like I said, we're running all the Mageseeker cards, so the Mageseeker Conservator, the Mageseeker Investigator, the Mageseeker Persuader, and the Mageseeker Inciter. All of these, well, besides the Mageseeker Conservator, all of them are buffed when you cast a 6+ spell. The Mageseeker Conservator, as Last Breath ability, will produce you one of those 6-cost spells. And then all of those go into helping with Heimerdinger level up. You get like the heavy spells, and then you get the heavy turrets down as well. So the 6+ units that Heimer can produce are the elusive, the barrier, and then T-Hex. He also gets that from his signature spell, Progress Day, which is a really easy way to level up Heimerdinger. So late game, what we have as well from Zon, and the reason why we are running Zon primarily in this deck was the Unstable Voltician. This card got me thinking that you could run the 2 sort of regions together, because when you cast a 6-cost spell with the Unstable Voltician as well, he gets 4 attack and quick attack. And then to finish off the game, we have Sunworks map. We can put this onto our really buffed units, use spells like back to back to get some heavy hits on the Nexus and be able to finish out the game. That's about it for this deck. It's a pretty standard Lux deck. We aren't running a lot of the barrier cards, I guess, that you could find in the Lux deck, besides the Bright Steel Protector, which works really well with single combat. But that's about it for this deck. Super fun. You should try it out. You definitely feel the Heimerdinger nerf, but he works pretty well in this deck. It is a little bit top heavy, meaning what I mean is like the units that kind of finish off the game are more expensive, starting with the Mageseeker Inciter at 4 mana. And then you have like a lot of 4, 5, and 6 mana cards. So you need to be kind of pacing yourself and mulligan pretty aggressively for things like Remembrance and for earlier cards. That's about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks. So we're going against a Swain and Yasuo deck. We're probably going to see a lot of Yasuo decks since the Steel Tempest has been buffed. It's now only 2 mana. In this type of deck, it would be okay to mulligan for something like Remembrance. They have the Fey Blade Twirler that they put down on turn 2 and then start buffing up, so it's okay for us not to have a lot of early game cards necessarily. We can look for Remembrance. I'm going to keep the Mageseeker Persuader just so that I have a play in case I need it. And we end up drawing the Mageseeker Investigator here. I'm okay playing that since we don't have Remembrance and we can get our spell. Like I thought, they have the Fey Blade Twirler. It's pretty common as a turn 2 play. I'm going to attack with the Investigator, and then I get Pack Mentality. Not the best card available, but it will do.
No suffering, so we may end.
Alright, and we don't have much of a play here besides the Mageseeker Persuader. So we're going to put him down, and then he, interestingly enough, doesn't attack, so that tells me he doesn't have a stun in hand, or a guile, I guess. Those aren't normally ran, but he didn't want to kill off his Fey Blade Twirler, and for whatever reason he didn't want to attack with his other card. Alright, so he has Yasuo here. We're just going to attack with our barriered unit. He lets us get an attack in on his Nexus for free, which is nice. Thinking about using Static Shock here just to make these cards more manageable. The Fey Blade Twirler can get out of hand really fast. So that's one of the reasons why I want to kind of threaten a little bit of damage to it. And then also get some card draw. So we drew Single Combat, which is a nice card to have here. And we aren't going to attack, let him go. And then he doesn't attack either. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why, but we're okay with that. We had some card tricks to use if we needed to, like Stand United and Single Combat. So he just wanted us to burn the mana, I guess.
I will learn from you.
Alright. He's not going to block with anything else. I'm going to buff up my units, save my Persuader, buff him up. Now that I've used this 6 mana spell, all my Mageseekers are going to be buffed as well as the Voltician. And now we're threatening to do quite a bit of damage here to the Nexus, and he's going to retreat. That's kind of interesting. I do have an option to Single Combat here. This won't really do much for me though. So I'm probably just going to let this go through. There's not much point in damaging my units and wasting spell mana. He doesn't really get much out of it. He's not even going to heal his Nexus, so I mean, we're just going to let it go. Now he's just going to bring it back in. He plays his Minotaur Reckoner. Super happy I didn't play that Single Combat now, because I want to get rid of this as soon as possible. And we are just going to use this Bright Steel Protector to get rid of the Minotaur Reckoner. I'm really happy that I saved the Single Combat. Alright, our side of the board is looking pretty scarce here. We have done quite a bit of damage to him. And he's going to attack here, and we're more than likely just going to let this go through. I don't really want to sacrifice my unit for nothing, and he has challenge right now, which is super useful. And we're just going to play one of our insiders here. And we're going to see if he's going to burn some mana. Oh, he ends up having Yone. And we are going to take out Yasuo here. He got rid of all of his mana, has no way to protect his units, and now we can take out Yasuo. And these buff units are really coming in handy here. So he gets no value out of Yone with Yasuo. He does buff up his Blade Twirlers a little bit, but it's my turn to attack this round. And I can actually, if I need to, I can challenge them with my Mageseeker Persuader. So we're going to play the Bright Steel Protector here. We're going to barrier our Persuader and then threaten one of these Blade Twirlers. He might have a stun in store for us here, and he does end up having a Intimidating Roar. We, however, have a back-to-back that we can use so that we can prevent this Intimidating Roar from going through. So he's not going to get any value out of this card now. I was okay using that amount of mana. One, it's going to preserve my units with more help, and I'm going to be threatening a ton of damage here to his Nexus.
Oh, it's on.
Your end is my duty.
Alright, so we do pretty good here. We were threatening lethal, so we needed to block. And we take out his Fey Blade Twirlers as well as his Yone, and we're looking pretty good. We have even amount of cards as well. He ends up having Swain, hasn't quite leveled him up yet. He needs 2 more damage. And we're going to play our Mageseeker Insider here. And we're probably going to play the Voltician. He more than likely isn't going to want to attack here unless he's got some sort of card that prevents me from killing his Swain. So it looks like he's going to let us go through. Remembrance is a really good draw here. There is a consideration to play it first because we could get the Great Thorn or Great Horn and be able to give it the elusive.
So too are mages.
He ends up having a he saved himself here and didn't even realize it, but he ends up having this Shadow Assassin. We're going to use Remembrance, and he has a Deny. I'm okay forcing that Deny out of him. It would have been nice to use that though. Okay, Inside of Ages, he gets 2 cards here. We might hold on to some Works map and not. Oh, and he ends up having another elusive unit. It's like he hasn't had any all game and now he plays 2. It's like he knew what we were going to do. We're probably not going to play it this round. We're just going to trim down these elusive units a little bit. Going to threaten a little bit of damage here and try to get rid of his bulkier units.
Find enlightenment.
He's got a transfusion. He's going to heal quite a bit of his damage back here, but we're in a pretty good spot. Our board state's a little bit healthier than his. And we still end up doing almost all the damage back to him. And forced a transfusion out of him. Finally draw Heimerdinger. It's kind of nice to have at this point in the game. I would have rather have had it earlier with all of my 6 cost spells before. But I can't really control the draws, so glad to have him now. Right, he's going to threaten my Voltician here. Not much I can do about it. Now we're going to play Heimerdinger. Pretty safe now that the now that his attack phase is over. Depending on what he does, we might play Pack Mentality here. So he's got a rally, so we're probably going to play Pack Mentality here. The reason for that is to dissuade him from attacking with his Swain. With his, because now we can't kill him with our Mageseeker Inciter. I would rather play this at the beginning of my next turn, but I'm probably going to play it now just because this is going to buff my units and is probably going to keep him from attacking here. It's also giving me a unit with barrier. Alright, and we're just going to open attack here. He's only got his Swain out. He probably wants to protect it, so he's not going to attack at all. We had the Static Shock in case he blocked into our Inciter to finish him off. Now we're just going to use the Static Shock here to damage them a little bit. Decide not to do that. There's not really a point in using that mana right now. I'm not going to be able to kill them anyway. Alright, now we got T-Hex after using the Progress Day. Got some card draw out of it too. Now we can level up Heimerdinger. And we draw a Lux. So we're looking pretty good now.
Confine and contain.
Alright, I'm not committing to too much here. And now I'm threatening the Swain with single combat. And my T-Hex here. He has another Deny. I'm okay getting that last, or another Deny out of him. He might have one more, but this is okay. And we're just going to end the round. We have him in a pretty good spot. His lifesteal is a little bit annoying. We're going to threaten lethal one more time with this T-Hex in the Sumpworks map here. Okay, he's got a Steel Tempest. I would have liked to finish off the round here. He's been able to pretty efficiently deny me from from getting an open attack onto his Nexus, which has been annoying. At this point, we've pretty much won the game. Our hand state is a lot better, and we've got these huge units on the board as well. He's going to heal his unit here, or his Nexus a little bit, but we're taking out his unit as well.
Control the mage.
We've got to detain. I'm just going to detain the Swain, see if he's got another deny in hand or any way to block this. And we're going to use the T-Hex series, our most powerful unit. It would be the hardest to get rid of. He could have something like Will of Ionia. He ends up having a retreat on himself. And he's just going to have to play himself again. So we got okay value out of that. We're just going to end the round here. And then hopefully we can win this round right now. We're going to play this Progress Day first, taking another T-Hex. Draw a few more cards as well. This is going to allow us to put a little bit more pressure on him and spread out with a little bit more power. Okay, and then he just concedes. So I was kind of slow there at the end. I was just waiting for him to finish up and kind of surrender. The life steal was kind of annoying to have to deal with and work around, but we ended up getting the win.